Fusion, be it Gogeta or Vegito, is an extremely integral part in the Dragon Ball franchise. How will it play a role in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot? Let's find out. What's good, YouTube? Dmgaming here, guys, and today we want to discuss the term fusion. Yes, fusion. Something that is a staple of Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, all those things going forward. I do though have to I do have to give a shout out though, because this term did, or the topic rather, did come to me from the live stream last night. The Darkaria 668S, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I apologize, but gave me the idea about talking about fusion, and I thought it was a very interesting thing to talk about. So that's what we're going to discuss today. But guys, before we get into the video, please share this video on Reddit. Reddit is a large platform, and it's a great way to get this video out and our channel and community out to as many people as possible. It helps us to grow and allows for a lot of things to be able to come to myself, the channel, and then to you guys as well. Follow me on these social media platforms. We're also on Facebook at Dmgaming06. And help me to reach 9,000 subscribers by clicking that subscribe button and clicking the bell icon to turn on all notifications so you don't miss a single upload. And hit that like button. If you're watching the video, hit the like button. Doesn't hurt. Hit it. It's free. So, anyway, fusions. Gogeta, Vegito, fusion is very integral in Dragon Ball Z. Also in Dragon Ball Super, but this is a Dragon Ball Z game, so I have to talk about Dragon Ball Z. So, with that being said, guys, first of all, let's get this out the way. Gogeta is more than likely not going to be in the game because Gogeta is a movie character. But I'm still talking about fusion in general and how it could potentially work, because we don't know if at some point fusion or movie characters will be like DLC or something like that, integrated into the game later on. So with that being said, so fusions, how will fusions work in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot? This was brought up in the live stream last night, and it was a very, very prominent point on how fusions could work is the support character. Depending on who your support character is, that determines what fusions you have available. Now, we know, of course, Vegito was in the Majin Buu saga, and rather than somebody, brought up having Vegito as a playable character, that doesn't make sense to make him a playable character because he was only there for a short while against Super Buu. That doesn't merit him being a playable character. Rather, the playable character would either be Goku or Vegeta, and then vice versa. Goku or Vegeta would have to be your support character, one of your support characters as well. Now, the fusion could be a new skill that you can learn. It could be something that you unlock in the game that gives you a prompt when you reach a certain threshold or certain requirement or whatever the case may be. I think it would be cool if they allowed us to fuse rather than force us to with the game. Of course, in order to advance the story, you would have to play as Vegito. So the game would make you do it. But I'm saying after that point, it would be really cool to be able to fuse whenever you would like, so long as Goku, or if you're playing with Vegeta, or if you're playing with Goku, having Vegeta as your support character and vice versa is in your support team. So how could it work? Well, they could bank it off the surge mechanic. So right now, the surge mechanic, it allows you to power up even more, and boost your stats and stuff. So if you could have the fusion skill equipped, I think that would be a good way to implement it, because the thing you have to think about with fusion is going to be an extremely powerful thing. Extremely powerful. For a game that has power levels and stuff like that, fusion is going to be extremely powerful. And if transformations work the way that I believe they will, transformations are going to be extremely powerful. So fusion is going to be even more powerful. Think back to like the Budokai days and stuff, whenever you had Gogeta Super Saiyan 4 and how much damage he can do. It was just monstrous. Well, scale that up 10, 20-fold with a game like this. And that's something that you really don't want to be able to stay in the entire match. You would literally just dominate people, which is cool. But at the same time, something limiting that fusion is something that is about balance. And because when you think of the games where you have fusion in with Gotenks and Vegito and Gogeta, Vegito's fusion wasn't timed because, of course, at that point, the Potara wasn't, it was supposed to be a permanent fusion, which we found out later in Dragon Ball Super that it's not a permanent fusion. It's permanent for the Kais only, but it's not permanent for mortals or whatever the case may be. So, but when you look at the Metamora fusion, it only lasts, what, 30 minutes or something like that. And even in the games, it had a timer that went down in the Budokai games, Infinite World games, and stuff like that. But that was for balance. Okay, we're playing a single player game, and so that balance isn't needed. So they can indeed extend the length of those transformations, and it won't affect the game because balancing is not something that they have to concern themselves with it being a single player game. I don't think anybody's going to complain about dominating the opponent in a fusion with Vegito or Gogeta if he's in the game at some point in time. You know, if you do, you're weird. I'm just going to be real with you. You're weird because Vegito was dominant in the series. He was dominant in Super. He was dominant in Z. I mean, it's a powerful thing that they don't use very often. So it goes without saying that it should be dominant. Now, people would ask, should there be a limit on it? Should there be a time limit on it? If it's the Potara fusions, I would have to say no. But seeing as what we know about Z and the truth about the Potara fusion, that it does have a limit on it for mortals, then is the game going to sell it that same way, or are they going to sell it the way that it was sold in Z, that it is a permanent fusion? You see, that's a big issue right there. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be interested to hear what the game is going to say when we get to that point. You know, the Kai's gonna tell him that it's permanent, because they did tell him that in the anime, and they were mistaken, and it was corrected, like I said, later on in Super. But us knowing that right now, you're gonna have some people that's gonna be like, oh well, they in the game they said that it's permanent, but it's not permanent. They confirmed that in Super, so that's not right. But you have to think about this. At the time in Dragon Ball Z, when they were told them about the Potara fusions, they were mistaken. They thought that it was permanent for everybody, but it's not. It's only permanent for the Kais. And so they're technically not wrong, because at that point in time, no mortals had used the Potara, only Kais. And when the Kais used it, it was permanent. So you can't get on their back about that. Don't be so a stickler in that sense. You know what I'm saying? So guys, this is something that's very unique. It's something that's going to add another level to the game. Is it something that we're going to use a whole lot? Maybe not. It really depends on, number one, what the in-game content is. And then it also depends on, number two, in-game content. And then two, if there's going to be like a new game plus or something to that effect that gives you a lot more free range. Also, another thing that I'm thinking about is, are the side quests going to kind of be auto-generated? You see what I'm saying? Because at some point we're going to get to the end of this game, and if there's nothing else to do but start a completely new game from scratch, that is going to be pretty annoying, and it's not going to be very fun, and people aren't going to be very happy. With an RPG, you have to have some kind of continuation, some kind of end goal, some kind of thing. And I know people are going to say collectibles and things like that, but in a Dragon Ball Z game, let's be real, in a single player game especially, if there's nothing else to do, you're probably not going to keep playing that game. You see what I'm saying? So that's something to think about right there. Now, the Potaras being in the game, Vegito being in the game, the power scaling not being an issue, the question is, and the question that I have for you guys is, are you going to have fun with it? Do you want to see Vegito in the game? Do you think he should be a playable character, or do you think it should work the way that we're talking about it? Me personally, I feel like it should work the way that we're talking about it, because, like I said before, if he's a playable character, it just doesn't make sense, because he only fought against Super Buu, and then we didn't see him anymore, of course, until Dragon Ball Super. So with that being said, don't look for Vegito to be a playable character. That doesn't make sense to the way and the structure of the game. Rather, the game is going to go about it two ways. Either, number one, it's going to allow us to fuse, which would be dope. That'd be pretty cool mechanic to be able to do that, past that fight and stuff like that. But also, it's going to either just allow us to play as Vegito with them fused together. That, people talking about pre-order bonuses, and stuff like that, I don't know. I mean, that could be one, but I doubt it. Because then you would get to the Majin Buu fight, the Kid Buu fight, and you got Vegito on your team, so you could just fuse together as Vegito, and that wouldn't be true to the story. However, it's a video game. The story is going to follow the story, but as far as what you do in combat and stuff, that's not, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of thing is not going to be completely in line with the story, because there were times when they lost, and when you're fighting, you're gonna have to win your fights to advance the story and things of that nature. Also, we know that, you know, when Goku and Piccolo fought Raditz, they didn't have any they weren't doing any damage to Raditz. But when you're fighting Raditz in the game, then yeah, you do a ton of damage to Raditz. So that right there in and of itself shows that the combat system isn't going to necessarily be as realistic. So that's all I have, guys, with that. I do want to point out here on the screen, if you look at the scouter at the top left, that icon is a main mission marker. Now I want you to look at all those main mission markers. Those missions could either be completed possibly by Piccolo or Gohan or whatever the case may be, but that shows that there's more than one main mission marker. Now, the other ones are pretty circled. This one has like that squarish looking logo behind it. However, it's there. You see what I'm saying? That means that the circle ones means that there's people that you need to talk to. And then the one with the weird shape, see right there on TN, that's one that's going to advance something with the story. But the other ones, actually, there's a couple of them that do still have that same marker and stuff like that. So there's going to be more than one main mission that you can do to advance the story at a time. So I thought that was really cool thing that I noticed there. I'm seeing something blinking at the top in that circle. I cannot make out what it is. But I am going, let's see if I can zoom in here while we still in the video. Try to see, I can't make out what that is, but that could tell us something else that's going to be in the game possibly. So I've been looking at that and trying to figure it out for the longest, and I just can't seem to do it. I can't make out what those items are. I think those are like the food items and stuff like that. The cooks. I think that's what that is. That because that's a village. So naturally those things would be shown there. So yeah. But guys, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Sorry about that. I seen that and it jumped out at me and I was like, you know what? Let's talk about that. So I may live stream today. I'm not sure yet. If I do, then I will definitely let y'all know, probably on Twitter or something like that. So make sure you're following me on Twitter. But guys, that's all I got for right now. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Until next time, thanks for watching. Peace.